Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. I'm your host, Fearless Floyd, and I believe it's to point that way. Are you seeing me point towards you, or am I pointing off camera?
Yeah,
That
you're
way? Is that
the other
you?
way.
Hey, that
Yeah,
you?
yeah, yeah. I
Okay. Hey, everybody.
think.
This is Arica, my fabulous co-host.
Mm,
Uh, she's recovering. Well, actually, she's recovered now, hopefully, from a
mhm.
little bout of the bug, and she's finally ready to go. And she's back. And
Mhm.
say hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. I feel like I have a lot to say right now. I'm really excited.
Well, good.
Mhm.
So, um, we both have had a lot of experience dealing with the different entities that may or may not call themselves gurus or patriots or leaders in this movement that has many different iterations, i.e., going from public to private, getting on the do not detain list, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to label it. And what we have come to conclude is that some are undeserving and some are full of themselves, to put it bluntly.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I'm just going to go right there. Uh, so let's just expound upon that. Um, because these gurus, they're on Telegram, they're on YouTube, they're on Facebook, they're on probably what, TikTok. I'm not.
Instagram, Instagram, TikTok.
Okay, so I don't do those
Yeah,
platforms.
I didn't guess you did.
No.
I'm doing them for you so I can share with you what I see.
Well, I know what TikTok is, and that's why I'm not on TikTok. Even
Yeah.
though I would say 101% sure that my phone, my computer, everything I do communicate is going straight to an alphabet agency and going into a
Mhm.
database. So, I already know I expect it, so it would be no surprise.
But like, doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Is TikTok worse than Facebook? Like, what does it matter?
Well,
Like,
Facebook's,
it's all kind of the same.
yeah, but Facebook at least is in the United States. TikTok is a Chinese technology.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
really, I'm sure China has everything on me anyway. They're mirroring YouTube and Facebook and all that. You guarantee you they are.
yeah, yeah.
All right. So let's get
So
down to.
I want to share my theory with you about this because we're
Okay.
talking, and I know we discussed that we didn't necessarily want to say names,
Mhm.
but I'm going to loosely mention if you want to say her name, go for it. But the person that you and I initially connected over, who is the leader of the
Let's just mention if they have a group name or a entity name. Let's go for that because people
okay,
will generally know who we're talking about, or they can go find
yeah,
them.
well, the American Nationals, right? Group. Am I
American
saying that
Spirit
right?
Nationals or the,
Mm-hmm.
the Federation or
Mm-hmm.
America Unincorporated, whatever label that Anna Von writes. Did I say that out loud? Uh,
Yeah, but you've said her name before on this channel multiple times, so it's not, there's other people you haven't. So since you've already gone down that road, let's do it. So one of the things that I saw initially, because man, the recruiting for her group was so heavy. And I think she's maybe in a little bit of a different category than some of these other teachers that we've been, learning from. But like that, so the recruiting was really heavy, and I just kept thinking, and then the message that was given to me about joining her group was, um, if you join the group and you get your paperwork wrong the first time, you have to go and repeat everything and do it all over again. And I was in Washington State during that time when I did my first meeting with them or whatever. And it was so weird. Like, I just felt like it was weird from the get-go. And what I saw was this person that just complained. And then it felt like I was in an Amway meeting. And I thought, this is not something that my spirit is real comfortable with right now. I don't want to feel like I'm
Breaking up. Or you froze.
something that I don't fully understand.
Okay, hang on, hang on. Whoa, that was a trip. You froze for about 30 seconds. And then
Oh,
you
that's
went
awkward.
fast forward. That was a trip.
Did I talk real fast too?
Y'all stop monitoring my stuff. Anyway, to go back and
um,
recap that
yeah.
you were in the
I
group.
Yeah, and
You
I only went to like 2 meetings, but it was so high pressure, and all I saw was this woman complaining about people who were willingly being there, and I thought my time is better suited to something else. So, I don't need to be part of an Amway production to learn how to be free from the system. And that's what it felt like.
okay? Um,
Am I breaking up too bad for this to happen?
you are breaking up a little bit, but I'm trying to catch it. Um, this is who we're talking about right here, the American
Yeah.
States Assembly. Okay, and you're going to see this flag, and there's more than one group out there that does this. This is the sign in America right
Which
here.
doesn't work.
Nope, waste of time. Here's a special message from Hitler herself. 50 states assemblies. And if you get involved with at least the Texas States Assembly, you're just
Hmm.
wasting your time. That thing's a mess. This guy, as we've spoken before, he's a registered sex offender from Alaska.
Hmm.
He's apparently, he's the head of state. That's the guy you're following. And I just did a video on Christopher Hauser, because a lot of folks are real eager and gumptious for their own self motivations to get involved with these different groups and gurus and patriots, and whatever that looks like. Everybody has their own different goals. This is nothing but a con game right here, the American States Assemblies. There's the
Hmm.
federation that they will talk about, that there is no federation. Federation's this guy who's allegedly Anna von Reitz's husband, and a couple little underlings of Anna von Reitz. I can give you my theory on what I believe is what that whole entity is about. I believe Anna is just a straw person, front man, front person, a puppet who is being controlled or orchestrated by an alphabet agency, whether it's ours or foreign, or by some powerful organization such as she's been linked to Kissinger and Associates, or like
Hmm.
George Soros, or somebody like that who has a lot of money to back her with a team of ghostwriters. We're very well read and
Yeah,
researched.
she can't possibly be producing all of those documents. And I know you've said this before, but you can't possibly be doing all of that yourself.
Nope. Not some little old lady who's what, in her 60s, maybe 70s. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the difference between Anna and Chris Hauser, though. Anna is not nice.
No.
You know, Christopher Hauser is nice. He's a really nice guy. Like,
Yes.
I would want to sit down and have a conversation with him. I would
Mhm.
not want to be in the same room with Anna for more than 3 minutes. She's irritating and she's just not nice.
Yes.
So I think we're
You're breaking up.
misled with this whole 1099A thing
Uh-huh.
with Christopher Hauser. And then people are being misled on another level with Anna. But I have no idea why people are still in her camp.
They they've been promised that they would have a debit card, white card, whatever, and have access to their trust account. That's been well over a year, and I've told them repeatedly that's just a carrot in the road to keep you, keep reeling you down the road, and that's never going to happen. Apparently, they were supposed to set up these banks and all this stuff. Never going to happen.
Yeah.
Never going to happen. If y'all feel the need to keep sending her donations when she begs for them every Monday night, hey, it's your money. Spend it how you want to. Uh,
Well, and if she's really figured out the system, though, why is she still asking for money?
exactly.
And that's the part that I don't understand.
Well, just like Chris Hauser, if he's mastered the 1099A process, and he's a multimillionaire, like he has stated personally to me and alleged on his
Yeah.
YouTube videos, why does he have a court-appointed appellate attorney? Why wouldn't he use those millions to get the best in the country, or just 1099A his attorney?
There you go. There you go.
Questions. Okay,
Question.
that's why I wore red today. Red flags.
Okay.
Red
we're
flags.
warning we're warning the people.
Flag day. Uh, he and I need to call the tax assessor in
Tennessee.
Cobb County, Tennessee. But he had a piece of property that he has 4 years of unpaid taxes. I think the first 2 years was like $75. In the
Mm-hmm.
next few years were $95. It's $654, probably with fines, fees, and penalties. 4 years behind on property taxes for $654, and you're a multimillionaire.
Okay,
Math.
well, let me ask you this though.
Uh-huh.
Has he done some sort of process where he believes he's removed himself from the jurisdiction of having to pay taxes? Because that could go either way on you.
Well, all I know is that property was on the foreclosure sale on the 11th,
Wow.
6 days ago. Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Call, find out if it's sold or not. If it actually went to the sale, because it can get pulled off the sale. And they have a
yeah.
sale monthly, every month. Here in Houston, Harris, well, actually in Texas, it's the first Tuesday of every month in every county.
Okay.
They have a foreclosure sale. I'm very
Well,
familiar with how that works.
I will be very curious to find out where that's at then, because you're right. If you are a multimillionaire, that $500 or whatever it's accumulated to should be pretty easy to take care of.
You break it down, and it's rough, like $1.33 a day.
Yeah. But the other part about that is that if he couldn't 1099A that process to pay off the taxes,
Hmm.
isn't there someone he could teach to do that for him?
Uh, you would think. You would think.
Hmm.
It's $1.79 a day. Yeah.
Less than Starbucks.
Yeah, but if it was $95 divided by 365, that's 26 cents a day in property taxes. 26 cents, and he can't afford that, but he's a multimillionaire. So anyway, so we talked about Chris, and yes, Chris is a very seems like kind-hearted soul.
Hmm.
Um, personally, I don't have a problem, Chris. My issue is that he's pontificating a process that he himself has not provided proof of concept, proof of success, and done it twice with two different things and shown you guys or shown the world the effectiveness of the process, i.e., and I personally know he does not have a new car. He does not have a car that's newer than 2018. Nope. Told me every vehicle he had. I wish I would
Now he's been out of jail for like, or from prison for like a year, right?
have roughly a year. Yeah.
So I, and during that time, he probably could have gotten a car.
Well, he has a bunch of cars. Apparently, he has a truck. I think a Jeep, car. I want to say a Mustang. His kid has Mustang. He's got like 4 or 5 vehicles, but they're
Yeah.
all the 2018 and older. None of them are brand new. So I told him, I said, "Hey, man, I know the finance manager at one of the Sonic Automotive dealerships, and they have dealerships nationwide, from Audi to Volkswagen. I also know the finance manager for a Lamborghini dealership, and they have brand new Lamborghinis, they have McLarens,
Hmm.
Bentleys, Rolls Royce, Ferraris. If you just want an everyday domestic, or you want a foreign, or you want a supercar, I'm your
Yeah.
guy. I got the hookup. I can have the car, we can do the process, and I can have it shipped to a dealership right by you. And we can just put the shipping right into the purchase price. So you don't have to pay anything out of pocket. So I
Hmm.
made this offer to Chris, and my phone's still not ringing. So, you
And
know,
you talked to him directly too, from what I understand, correct?
say that again.
You've talked to him directly.
Absolutely. 2.5 hours. Yep. Called him,
Hmm.
texted him, emailed him, invited him to come on to my show prior to me doing that expose. Didn't hear a word from him. And
Hmm.
crazily enough, while I was recording the part 3, he was doing a live on YouTube. And I
Hmm.
actually screen shared him doing live on my part 3.
That's awkward.
Yeah, I thought that was very ironic that, hey, man, I'm trying to reach out to you for you to do this show. And, I guess you don't have time for me. But, that's neither here nor there. Um,
Yeah.
okay, so we've talked about Anna von rights, and that's a totally different movement because what my goal was to get into the Texas State Assembly, which is it's supposed to be independent from the American States Assembly, kind of under the umbrella,
Hmm.
but it never will be because as long as Anna's in control, it's her way or the highway. She's going to
Yeah.
excommunicate you. She's going to roast you in front of God and everybody on her little Monday night show. And anybody, y'all can go to her platform and look up her, I believe it's December 28th, Monday night webinar. And the whole webinar's got me. Feckless Floyd, she calls me. Man in
Uh,
Texas.
well, why don't we move on to the group that you and I were also a part of?
That
Um,
breaking generational curses, correct? The Facebook group.
yeah. Yeah. So it was really disappointing to see that how that group has ended.
Mhm.
And so, the concept of the group was to teach us consumer law and to learn consumer law and advocate for ourselves within that. And unfortunately, we had a contract with that group and the leader. And essentially, that contract was broken in all of the ways that we were learning to advocate against. And the fact that it ended like it did, and I don't know if people are still paying, but it was very dishonorable.
Yeah, very bad faith move for sure.
Mhm.
Uh, Here is the group on Facebook, and this is a private group. And this is last post. That's the new activity. So you can see that this group pretty much withered on the vine.
But there was no official ending to the group, so there was no communication. Um, and every time, a meeting was getting canceled or a promise was missed, it was almost this weird abusive thing where it was coming back with, oh, I'm helping so many people, we're helping so many people, we're helping so many people, just over and over and over again. And it's like, well, but you had a commitment to educating and serving the people who are paying you in this group first. And it just got so warped where people were even coming to the leader's defense and saying, oh, but she's helping people. You guys aren't paying very much money. You should be grateful to be here. And I feel like in a lot of these groups, it's you should be grateful to be here. And you're being ungrateful for everything that's being provided to you. Do you find that that's been consistent in some of these groups you've been a part of?
No, that's not inconsistent at all. And in fact, in this group, Breaking Generational Curses, when I joined, she was using that was it Gumroad and
Yeah.
the other one. She was using all these arcane, I would say almost obsolete platforms for
Yep.
documents, and you could get her little those webinars for like 24 hours free, and then after that you had to buy them. Some, and it was just real odd, the whole thing.
It was.
I don't think it was thought through, laid out
Mm-mm.
as a business plan to begin with. Just kind of threw together and grew and got out of control. Um, the creator of this group, not very organized, um, seemed to know her stuff on the topics at hand, but when it came to vetting information, I would say she was a failure with that because she's the
Mhm.
one that came on and started pontificating America Unincorporated, which
Ah,
is now sign, which yeah now is the Sign in America thing. And as soon as I heard it, it kind of hit a dog whistle with me, and I was like, oh, is that Anna's website? And then
yeah.
I basically made a big ruckus about it. And it took me a minute to even get in contact with her and one of the administrators to have a phone call to educate them on what the American States Assembly, America Incorporated, Anna von Rights, what that entire thing looks like and what it actually is.
Yeah.
Uh, and during that phone call, one of them fell asleep and started snoring. The other wouldn't even respond. So I'm just sitting here talking away to nobody, I guess. And that ended that call. I never heard back from them. And then, of
Yeah.
course, they had the entire MS debacle. I'm not going to
Yes.
mention his name. I'm not going to
That
hunt
no,
him
please
down. Yeah.
don't. Well, that was such a distraction. And like, if I can quickly say this, like, it was just so unnecessary to have so much drama that took place in that group and so much anxiety and angst. It was just so unprofessional. And just the continuing, like, twisting back to the participants of you should be grateful to be here. You aren't paying very much money to be a part of it. But I have also seen, not just in her group, but in another circumstance we'll talk about in a moment, where my time isn't valued. And, why was this group leader's time valued so much more than my time when I would sit on a Zoom call and wait? Or I would, race home from picking up the kids to jump on a call and be on time.
Right.
Why wasn't my time valued? And that's what I'm seeing across the board, where it's just this weird, we should pay homage to these gurus that we're paying. Like, I have a contract with you. If I'm paying you for a class or whatever you've put in your contract, that means that you're okay with that. If you've agreed to that, stop trying to guilt me because I'm not living up to some sort of weird expectation that you have, or showing some weird sort of extra gratitude. The contract was, you provide the education, I pay for it, and I receive the education. If you have something beyond that, you need to put that in some sort of an agreement.
Yeah. It reminds me of, God, I'm trying to think of the wrestler who it was. One of these, big time wrestlers. Um, Not Jake the Snake. Um, anyway, I can't remember his name. But when he first started getting into wrestling,
Mhm.
he was like, "Man, I need somebody to teach me, how to not like wrestle amateur, but wrestle professionally for money to get into the
Yeah.
circuit." So he was like, "Oh, you need to go see this guy, a former wrestler." So he goes and pays this guy $3,500, and guy says, "Okay, yeah, come back tomorrow at noon." So he comes back, and the guy's, like half drunk, got a beer bottle in his hand. "Okay, yeah, do that," and just like hammering this guy, you know, making him do it all, like 1,000 push-ups and 500 sit-ups, and then, just really busting his ass. And he said he did this for like, 6 weeks and learned some moves and everything. And, one day he came over there for his next training session and the house was empty. The guy was gone,
Oh my goodness.
just totally burning. Yeah. And he took like all the money that he had and went and sold some stuff and pawned some stuff just so he could have the $3,500 to give to this guy so he could learn to get on the circuit so he could start making money, which, those guys, when they start out that circuit, they don't make hardly anything a night. Mostly it's, Whataburger combo meal money. It's sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what it reminds
Um,
me. And some
so
of the gurus that, like yourself, that you're paying them and you expect more respect, but they just take advantage of the situation and abuse you. But people allow them to get away with it because they want that information. So for me, there comes a
yeah.
time when you have to put a line in the sand and you say, you know what? I don't care what your information's worth. I'm not going to be abused. I'm not going to be treated that way. I'm not going to be disrespected. I have more honor and integrity in my own being, and I'm not going to accept that and just cut ties.
Mhm.
And I had to do that with Madeline Tiggle. Let
Hmm.
me. Have you ever heard of Madeline Tiggle?
No, I haven't.
No. Let me pull her up. And I'm guilty. Um, I paid her 1,600 bucks. But I was following somebody when I just got back into this and really didn't really know exactly what I was doing. I was just trying to catch up basically because my problem was is I learned so much information in prison and I didn't know what was good information, what was bad information. So I've
Well,
had
I'll
to,
tell you what, I've learned a lot of information outside of prison, and sometimes I still don't know what's good information and what's bad information.
Oh shit. Uh,
Is that fair?
yeah, I mean it is. I am. This can't be all of it. I don't know why I can't find her name. I know it's MCT.
What is her topic? Is it a money topic or is it a freedom topic? Like what's her
No,
thing?
is to get you on the private side. See, private equity. Here's your Facebook. There it is. I know she's on Facebook. All right. Oh, now she's got Lockhart on the end of it. She's revamped her webpage. And like I said, I was following some friends and um and I'm not monetizing this, so I see you're copyrighted and registered and it's trademarked and all that right there. So as long as I'm not using it for monetary gain, I'm good. All this property belongs to this entity for my caveat. Anyway, so I was following these other people and we were like doing the basically the secure party creditor process and they're like changed everything. They go, okay, we're going to follow this woman. I'm like, well, who is she? And they're like, oh, yeah, well, we followed her. She disappeared for like a year and a half, and now she's back on the scene, and we're going to do her deal. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, it cost $1,600. I'm like, okay. As long as y'all say okay. So her
Mhm.
website's different now. But when I went to the website, like the first, I think, like the third sentence, there was a misspelling in it. I was like,
Mm.
ooh, that's not good.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was my
Please do paperwork for me.
yeah, that was my first red flag. And I'm like, so she set up our trust, which is a really serious trust package. I have to give her that. I don't know if she created it. It, it evolved, uh, but she did it. So she sends it to us, in a binder like this with page protectors. Got when I got mine, I've got some information from some guy named something Washington from Maryland. I have his information in my binder. So I was like, oh man, this is bad. Who's got my information? Because I got this guy's information.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was like an issue, and there was a lot of misspellings, misinformation. And when you're going through, I don't know, it's probably 60, 80 pages, you got to like read every word. What
Yeah.
we ended up doing is me and my friend's sister, we went through the trust and completely rewrote it.
Wow.
Every instrument. And then I organized it, cataloged it, gave everything a instrument form number or form identity, made a table of contents, a checklist. You know, I totally redid it, made it much more better. uh, Sent it back to her. And she wasn't even really grateful that I just like totally overhauled, or both of us overhauled her whole process and made it much, much, much better, much easier to work with anyway.
Huh.
So she wasn't very grateful. Um, here's your name correction, estate trust, acceptance of deed, consultation, trust transfer deed, CUSIP, business credit, certificate of title by declaration claim. So anyway, let's just kind of slow down and go through this. Correction of proper grammar and correction of status. This is your estate trust, third party revocable estate living trust, or in need of more with savings special revocable estate living trust with workshop. You can imagine what that looks like.
Hmm.
Acceptance of deed per law. The acceptance of deed by the grantee is an essential as its delivery by the grantor. Consultations. Trust transfer deed, proper legal binding interest into trust. CUSIP, third party. I don't even know what, she didn't even have that, so I don't know what that is. Be your own boss, join our business network, community members only, credit with contracted third party. I don't know what that is. That's new. Certificate of title by declaration claim, correction of records of your choice, correction of social security card taxes, correction of DMV, correction of passport, correction of marriage, etc. Group workshop, fundamentals, basics of private versus public, personal credit, clean up your credit, correction of records, consultation is required to clarify your needs. Each person's situation is not same and shall not be treated as such. Status correction, three-step process. And this preparatory, all for you, preparatory academy, all for you recreational community center is a project that she has in California that she's working on to provide a school and a recreational center to teach children basically all this process. Kind of what you're
Interesting.
doing. Yeah, kind of what you're doing for homeschooling, which we're
Yeah.
going to do a video about.
Yeah.
So this is Tiggle's stuff, and she didn't have a lot of this on there. Basically, she had the estate trust. She didn't have the acceptance for deed. Didn't have, she had the trust transfer deed, didn't have the CUSIP, didn't have the business credit. That was part of the trust package, but she didn't do all this other stuff underneath it. Didn't have a group workshop because of COVID.
Huh.
Personal, she didn't clean up credit. She didn't have correction of records. She didn't have a status correction. So this is all new. This is actually a new website. Same URL, but a new. It's written, formatted, different.
Yeah. So did you take classes from her, or was it just the trust that you purchased?
She did not have classes, and this what the deal was. This was just when COVID hit, and in California, like in March, April of 2020, they shut everything down.
Yeah.
They were on lockdown. You couldn't go into office buildings.
Yeah.
Well, apparently she had an office in an office building and she couldn't go in there to get her files. Her servers were in there. She couldn't allegedly access her servers. So it was kind of puzzling to me because it put everything on hold. And then she's like, oh, I got to sub everything out to a third party to do it. Um, and it just, for me, that was another red flag because she is allegedly private on the private side and has millions in credits. I mean, like jaw dropping millions,
Hmm.
allegedly.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, okay, well, if you're worth all this credit,
Mm-hmm.
why don't you go buy the building, right? That way you
Yeah.
can go in your own building,
Yeah.
because, or just go buy you your own office building and reestablish everything, and you don't have to worry about any of that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well,
these are all,
leaving your house in spring of 2020 was very dangerous. So you can't underestimate the real danger that she was in.
oh, I know, horrible.
I'm sorry.
Horrible.
It was.
Yeah. Quit having fun.
Well,
This
yeah,
is
I
the
mean, I
no
don't
fun
know. Like
zone.
that's the confusing part. That's the confusing part, even about the group that we were talking about, just prior to this gal that you brought up. She talked about having all these things, and I don't understand why these people Like if you really do have access to all these credits, you really are successful as you're maintaining to a group of people, things should look a little bit different. And it seemed as though that, even on the internet, like I could have a background in back of me that shows that I'm like at some resort, filming this, right?
Right.
Like you can fake so many things, but the fact that these people aren't even able to fake those things for the illusion of success and then maintain what they're trying to do is just very, like, very surprising and disappointing to me. Here's my other theory about this. I think, and this is maybe the one of the other people I wanted to talk about. I'm not going to mention his name. This man is brilliant, like just brilliant. He's doing things that are knocking my socks off, and the amount of prep work that he's put into place before essentially cashing out his credits or his birth certificate has just been an amazing process to watch. And I've referred many people to him. However, he's highly emotional, volatile, and the program I'm involved with him changes every 3 weeks. And it's been so frustrating.
Well,
One of the,
hang on, hang on. So what changes? The end goal, the
oh,
process?
no. Sometimes the process changes, but he doesn't share an update. So let's say he's posted about 1099As, OIDs, and 1040Vs, right?
OIDs.
He will have found out like the check part of it,
Yeah.
to not go into much detail, right? But he will have posted this entire process online. He won't go back and say this didn't work. So like there'll be things like that, but then he'll tell you like in a class, oh yeah, that didn't work, don't do that. But the people that are going through his profile and his information, he won't correct that information. Um, but here's the thing, this guy is really, he's super, super smart, and like almost to the level that sometimes it's very difficult to understand. But he's also very volatile in terms of, it seems like getting angry online. And it's this weird thing we were just talking about where it's like abusive, where you wonder, can I ask a question because I might get embarrassed or called out inappropriately or demeaned to other people? And it's happened over and over again. What I see happening, or I see like weird anxiety coming out about random things. What I think is the case in some of these scenarios is that with this high intelligence, oftentimes you might find an autistic individual and they have a hard time balancing this superior intelligence that I'm seeing with the realities of people wanting something from you. And I'm not even really saying this very well, but this is what I'm seeing is this inability to deal with the daily stuff, yet have this really high intelligence level for the process and these black and white things, yet the interaction with people is so poor and filled with anxiety in every interaction. And with this certain individual, he keeps saying, people want stuff from me, people want stuff from me. And almost this, again, like guilting of your students or the people paying you for the information. And then this, you're not paying enough, you should be paying more for these services. And again, I've signed a contract with you, and if you're not happy with that, we need to revisit that and take a look at it, because when I signed up, you were happy with what you were charging for your services or your materials or your classes.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm wondering, if we're seeing across the board with people who are having an element of success, the really smart ones, if there's that balance that they just can't strike of being very intelligent, yet not being able to keep up with it on the emotional social side.
Um, trying to, trying to find the correct word to use. Uh, would say due to my craziness, I had the ability to be confined with a great deal of men,
Hmm.
and there was, a constant flow of people
Yeah.
throughout my time that I interacted with. Serial killers. Okay, I actually lived with one of actually the most prolific serial killer in the state of Texas. He passed away last
Wow.
May. We lived together, worked together, were in the craft shop together, lived on a 10-man dorm. So, we were close, and I was able to interact with this guy on a daily basis for quite some time.
Hmm.
Flat out psychopaths. I mean, there's people that, uh, since I've been out, I'll be like, when I used to watch regular TV, I watch the news and like, ex convict, goes on a killing spree and kills girlfriend and ex wife, and you know, I'm like, oh, I know that guy.
That's terrible.
I'm serious.
I know.
Not making this shit up. So, I mean, flat out psychopaths, sociopaths, of course, a gazillion pedophiles. But
Yeah.
uh, I was able to talk to these people, especially because I was a writ writer and they wanted me to do their direct appeal or their state and federal post conviction or even an
Yeah.
actual innocence or wrongful conviction claim. So the interaction between us was a little bit different than it would be if we were out in general population, kicking it in the day room or out on the rec yard or in the gym or something like that. Because now they're giving me their trial records or their appellate records, and hey, you can't tell anybody I'm in here for being a child pedophile. That I sexually assaulted a
Yeah.
12-year-old girl 4 times. This is my third time to be in the penitentiary for it.
Wow.
So, yeah, and I'm a gang member, and you can't tell anybody because they'll kill me. that,
Wow.
yeah, that kind of intimacy. So, uh, I understand that sometimes there are people who are just so brilliant that you can see their brilliance and their genius, but they don't have any kind of social skills.
Yes.
Those are absent.
Yep.
And there's just like almost a blank slate there, and you just can't get that intimate, respectful interaction with them. They're beyond that. Their brain won't function that way. So I've run into them a
Yes.
lot. I mean, I've met some very, very, very smart, talented, creative people. Uh,
Mhm.
in prison. Some of them should be there. Some of them shouldn't. Some of them have like changed. And some of them are going to be there for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say lucky, but I've been privileged to experience that over my lifetime. And I've had a remarkable life. For somebody who's done so much time in prison, been in and out of
Yeah.
jail, you know, I can't even count how many times I've been to jail. It's like pathetic. Um, but I used to be the craziest motherfucker you'll ever, want to run across. And thank God
Huh.
I changed.
Yeah.
I have a
I think you might have.
direction.
I think you might have changed your ways, and I'm hoping that's the case.
Oh, absolutely. I have actually a friend that I've known since I was 16, so 44 years. And we just recently started because, like, when I was in prison, he was out, and then when I was out, he was in prison. So we like kind of missed each
Mhm.
other for about 25 years. Um, So now we just kind of started reestablishing our relationship. And it's like, man, every day I talk to you, you're just like, you're not even the same guy. Because
Hmm.
it's impressive. I've had a hard time believing you're this different. And I'm like, yeah, well, it is what it is. You know,
Yeah.
we all have to grow up sometime and put childish behaviors away. And
Yep.
that's pretty much what I did. So I like, I have a very boring, simple, easygoing life, and I'm not out to be Mr. Popular. I've been that guy. I was the guy that whip out my wallet and I got VIP cards to every hot nightclub, every topless bar, you know, no line, no cover, VIP, all the bartenders know me, the bar managers know me, strippers know me, you know, been there, done that, got the scars, you know. So for me, this is not about becoming popular. I've already been that guy. Now when I go in someplace, I look around to see like, who do I like? Do I don't even want to be
Yeah. Um,
here. When opposed to back when I was younger, I walked in a room, it's like, hey, is everybody looking at me, man? Has anybody got a shirt like me? I hope not. I got paid $500 for it. I used to be that guy. And I look around for the hottest chick in the place, and I didn't care if she had a boyfriend, a husband, nothing, or if she was single with a group of girls, group of guys. That was the one I was going to take home. And
well,
yeah. So I understand the dynamics with some of these gurus, and because they possess this information that we so dearly seek and want to know and learn and master,
hmm
uh, to obtain whatever motivational goals that we have, I think that they, take advantage of that situation. And this is
yeah.
one of the reasons why, nothing of mine is monetized. I don't charge for anything. People ask me for templates all the time. I'll send them to them free. And actually, I was just reading an email right before we got on from a guy who wants my name change template. I don't have a problem sending it
Hmm.
to him. And we'll get into that, in another video. But
Yeah.
I'm going to and as I've told people, I'm going to do a process for that, and hopefully that will be the one-stop shop. And we don't need to do all this other stuff, so it should be real
Yep.
simple. But we'll get into that when I get a little bit further along on that process. Once I start working on it, it'll be,
Good.
yeah, I'll knock it all out, and then I'll send it
Yeah.
to people like you to have you vet and see if I missed anything or anything that you want to add to it. So
Yeah. Yeah. And I
on
think
to
we
the
all come from like a little bit different perspective.
uh-huh.
And you would, you might include something that I look at and I think, wow, that's brilliant. I would have never thought of that. And I might include something and have the same, input to your documents based on us both coming from different perspectives. Like I'm very, very focused right now on protecting kids and families and helping families really put matters in place to protect them because things are just getting tougher. And so when I'm looking at things, I'm kind of using that filter, I guess, of families. And you might just have a different filter that you're viewing everything through because of your stage of life and different things going on for you. And that's where I think, we can benefit each other and we can benefit others in our community through using those different lenses.
Absolutely. My take on this, because I am so well read and researched into, I'm going to call it parapolitics, basically this whole thing that's going on worldwide. Where it comes from, what they're actually doing, what their end goal
Yeah.
is. It's and I've had a real hard time with this. That And it's just like with the assembly. There's just diehard people. They've drank the Kool-Aid. They're drunk on the Kool-Aid. They're not going to stop drinking the Kool-Aid. They don't want to hear it. And it doesn't matter what you present as factual evidence, who's saying it, who's presenting it. Even if
Yeah.
take something or somebody that they believe in, they trust, that they listen to, and you take their information and present it to them and go, look, this is exactly what they're doing. And they still don't believe you because they don't want to be the ones that feel like, oh, wow, really? I've been duped this whole time. So basically, they feel like you're trying to shame them into
Yeah.
having this guilt-ridden conscience, and that's not at all. Hey, look, we're trying to save you,
Yeah.
and if you don't want to save yourself or save your family, there's really not much more than we can do to do that. But we can present whatever we can out there to help these people, and that's what I'm trying to do. And basically, that's what this channel's all about. Is showing people this is what I did. This is my own personal experience. This is the evidence. You know, you can do it. Try to emulate it if you can. It may or may not work for you, but this is what I did and it worked for me.
Yeah. 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 And I think that you've provided a lot of very tangible piece of information for people that are you're able to watch your videos and immediately go and replicate the things that you've taught. And I think that's very valuable.
Yeah, that's all I try to do, and that's why I'm trying to not just be the Fearless Floyd show with Fearless Floyd. I want people like you to come on who are doing other things that I'm not doing or have done other
Yeah.
things and have this evidence to present to say, hey, I did this process and this is what I did and this is how it works, in which I call the proof of concept and proof of success.
Yeah.
Uh, so there will be more people on here. And again, I want to thank you for being on my show and co-hosting with
Yeah.
me and just putting a little more beauty into the atmosphere so everybody didn't have to hear me pontificate and blow my own horn.
Well, I hope this has been an interesting conversation for people to listen to. I don't know that there's been like a ton of information, but um, I think it's important that people who are part of these classes and part of these groups, it's okay to say this isn't working out and I'm not going to continue to put my money here. And just like people who are part, like I hate to like continue to relate it to abuse, but like just we don't need to be so desperate for people's information that we continue to put up with ridiculous behavior.
Unacceptable behavior.
Yep.
Um, and take this from my own experience. If somebody's out there selling it, it's out there for free. You
Yep.
just haven't found it yet.
Yep.
And maybe because of your dire straits that you're currently experiencing, that you feel you don't have time to waste or haste to develop that relationship or that time to research to find it for free because it's out there. I guarantee you
Yeah.
it's out there. Somewhere it's out there. Somebody has it, somebody knows it. You just haven't encountered them yet. And you don't have to pay
Yeah.
people for this information. It's available,
Yes.
and you're going to find that a lot of these gurus, patriots, um, con artists, because that's what they are, a lot of them that want to charge you whatever it is, consultation fees, or they want to charge you for their instruments, documents, or to do a process. Um, I feel, they're being disingenuous. Now I get and totally understand, hey, look, this is what I do. This is my hustle. I want to be compensated for my time. Okay. That's
Yeah.
fine. I have a donation. Let your conscience be the guide and donate what you would like. Okay. I'm
Yeah.
not going to give you a flat fee and tell you, hey, I'm $100 an hour and $200 an hour. I want $50 for this document, 35 for that document. Because most of these guys, they've stolen this material from other people,
Yeah.
or it's been given to them out of the kindness of somebody else's heart, or they paid somebody and got part of their process. And as we both well know, just like you were explaining with your guy that you're in, you get parts of it and you don't get the complete picture
Yes.
to do the
Yep.
whole process.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
and you're being led along, and you think you're getting it all because you haven't done your own research and
Yes.
been through the quagmire. You don't know really what you're doing. And for those
Yep.
of you who want to pay somebody to do a filing process for you, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're disrespecting yourself, because even if you do get to where you want to be, you're not going to know how you got there. You're not going to know why you're there. So when it comes time for you to get your visit from somebody from the United States government to
Yeah.
vet you, that you have standing and status to be who you claim to be, and that you have responsibility to accept this great wealth that you are trying to seek. Because if you cannot prove that to them,
Yes.
they're going to walk out the door and you're not going to get what you're trying to get all along, because you did yourself a disservice right off the bat by having somebody else do it. When these
Yes.
guys,
And I,
but
my theory for myself has been that I do not want to do a process, a financial process or otherwise, that I cannot thoroughly explain to someone else, or
mhm,
that I wouldn't be able to defend if I had to go to court over it. So before I do anything, I ask myself, self, how confident are you of those things? And so I kind of really make myself think through that, so that I'm not just filing something that the Fearless Floyd show told me to file.
mhm.
And not that I would doubt your information, but I am going to be the one responsible for it if I file it and it's wrong, or I do it incorrectly, or I don't have standing to file that, or I'm claiming something I shouldn't be claiming. And I think it's really important. And I think that right now we're distracted with so many things, and guess what, it is easier to have to pay somebody, but I've learned so much doing my own research, doing my own paperwork. And right now I know there's a few things I've slowed down on, because I'm like, I don't feel confident, I don't have quite the amount of information. Yeah, it's all filled out, I could drop it in the mail tomorrow, but I'm not 100% sure on it. So I'm not quite sure what my brain needs to unlock right now to be sure, but I'm not going to feel pressured to drop that in the mail if I'm not 100%. So I think it's important. I think it's important to tell people to do it yourself and be patient.
Yeah, and again, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but most of these people, they're in dire straits, and they get a message or a phone call or something from a family member or a friend saying, "Hey, there's this guy on YouTube or
Yeah.
Telegram or whatever that has this process, and we can get I know you're behind on your car payment, and really in
Yeah.
reality you're behind on everything that you own or have, your credit cards, utilities, rent, mortgage, whatever, and now you're making decisions out of desperation. And when you make decisions out of
Yep.
desperation, your thinking is stinking."
It's true.
First thought is wrong. So yeah, I'm gonna throw in some of my AA stuff, uh, because I have a friend like that. Bless his heart. Uh, he's made just repeatedly idiotic financial decisions based on desperation. He would like take. He had, I don't know, like one of these three, four, $5,000 road bikes, bicycles, and he'd take it and he'd pawn it, and then he'd pay the interest for like 6 months, and he'd come up on a lick, and then he'd run back down, get it out. And, I mean, this was just like a rinse cycle, repeat, wash, rinse, right,
Yeah.
and I'm like, bro, just sell the bike, man. Get more money for it. And we get more money, go get you another bike.
Yeah.
It's insane. I mean, he went and he took a paid off car that he got a smoking deal on, went and got a title loan, and I told him, don't do that. You're going to lose that car. He went and paid all this interest, and of course, this is how title loans work. For FYI, everybody, every month he would have to go down there and sign a new contract and a new promissory note every month.
Hmm.
Those people were killing it on the back end.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every month he went and paid off that loan with the promissory note.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, he did this for like 8 months. I kept telling him, I go, dude, what are you doing? You just like, you're creating so much money for these people. That car's been paid for 8, 9, 10 times. And then he finally is like, man, I can't even pay the interest and the principal anymore. I'm just going to let him take it. I'm like, oh, you gave him the car, the title.
You should have 1099 it.
I tried. I tried. It didn't work. That was one of the ones I did try on. Swear to God, I tried to save him. Uh, didn't work. No, they just looked at like, what is this? I'm like, oh God. Yeah. So
I've been doing to troll when they're selling their classes right now. Like I've done this for about 3 months. I've asked if they accept a 1099 for their class, and no one has said yes. Sorry.
can I add some silver to that 1099A? Will that make it work?
Okay. So I can take your 1099 class. Can I?
Yeah. I always carry around 9. Well, there's a penny in there, but yeah, I carry around 9 pure silver. Well, 90% silver dimes. So I always have silver in my pocket. Yeah, and of course my 19-year AA chip.
But here's my question: how many people, because of Chris Hauser, are driving around with a 1099 signed as beneficiary, as he's advised, in your car for your car insurance right now?
Let's see. He has over a
Did
million
you watch
views.
that video?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Uh-huh.
But how many people out there? I mean, like, you can't even get 1099 from the IRS right now. They've like cut it off. You can't get them. But he told people to use it as their auto insurance inside. Logan has it. I do not have
He
it.
did.
I apologize. Logan was in charge of it, Mom. I apologize. But he told people to use that as their car insurance, to use a 1099 and put it in their car.
Hey man,
So if they got stopped or they
that's,
got in
I
a
got
car
some shit to
accident,
say.
they would just sign it over. You
Yeah.
can't do that.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Anybody want to buy some?
People are selling them too. There's a website you can go and buy them on right now.
Y'all want? Let's see. I got the 1099A, 1099C, 1099A and C instructions, 1096. Yeah, there's instruction forms, and there they are, baby.
So what's the going rate on a group of 1099As right now, Floyd?
I have no idea. I didn't know they were such a commodity.
Maybe we should go check eBay and see if we can make.
Right? Hold on. This,
Is there something against selling IRS forms? Like, I would think that wouldn't be an ideal spot to be in.
don't
I don't
don't
know.
don't make me. Don't make me. Uh,
So I know we've gotten completely off track with what we were trying to talk about today, but really that's the consequence of people being misled in a very big way right now for something that no one has been able to do.
Well, oh my God.
Your screen's not coming up for me, so I don't even know what you found, but I can only imagine. I might have to get it on eBay.
2019 IRS tax form 1099A single sheet set for 3 borrows, carbonless 3-part, $6.29. Here's a 2016 for 636. There's a 2018 for 6. So shit, I'm sitting on a gold mine. You froze on me.